Hey friends, Inquisitive Margot here, and we are back with Chapter 4 of Dysfunctional Systems, Learning to Manage Chaos. So, big news! President Barnaby has declared war. Well, he hasn't declared war, he has threatened Gabriel that if they don't start treating Brighton with more respect, he's gonna drop a nuclear bomb on him. And our little Winter here is like having a mental breakdown over this. There was something log. So this right here is just the script, basically. Which I found pretty cool. Not that I think I'll have... If I ever need to look back at something, I guess, really far back, and I don't want to backtrack the whole game. Alrighty, Tess, what do you think?
Is it really time for tests?
Be appreciative that I'm even doing this work. I feel bad for Cyrus having to deal with someone like her. She's so new. She is so new to life. Let's hide text. Oh. It literally means hide the text. Okay, that's... necessary? I'm just checking out what's going on. Anyways, I was just checking it out. What do I think? What it could be? Well, first of all, Gabriel will respond to Brighton's threat. Possibly. Possibly? Why wouldn't they? I'll answer that for you, because it might work in their favor to ignore it. I don't get it? He is so tired of her. Just think, Winter.
Oh, okay, just think. Wonderful advice, you... Ugh.
It's just... I'm adjusting here. I'm getting more comfortable. I don't like her attitude right now. Well, maybe they just don't care at all about Brighton and they'll use this tantrum as an excuse to destroy them. That's nonsensical, I know. Keep pointing out how I'm like a fish attempting to walk. That's right, Winter. You're right about why they wouldn't respond. What? How absurd! Isn't Gabriel a leech on Isn't Gabriel a leech on Brighton's back? They need Brighton, so why would they want to destroy it? Well, they wouldn't actually destroy Brighton. What they would do is invade and take away what little freedom and independence this country still clings to. Then they would be able to take advantage of the citizens in ways unprecedented. There! I know how to say that word! Don't know why I had trouble. I know how to say it. There we go. What a disgusting thought. I can hardly even imagine it. Alright, now here's another question. Why does Brighton think it can take on Gabriel?
Damn it, Cyrus! How should I know?
The same way you knew the first answer. I was bullshitting! Language. Sorry, sir. Thinking about recent events might help.
Goodness. Is he trying to get me to think of the place of murderers? Those are boots I would not like to fill. I guess I have to, though.
You mentioned recent events. I can't think of the minimum wage increase would embolden this country enough to believe they could stand against an obviously superior nation. Especially with how unimpressed Especially with how unimpressed the president seemed to be about it. Even David wasn't terribly excited.
Oh, David. What was it that David mentioned?
Their new army. Ah, he's smiling. He's proud of her. Aw, she's learning. She's learning. Look at that. Look at that. Bonding. We got a bond growing right here. Right here. Right here.
The person I spoke with, his name was David. He said that Brighton had gotten a military recently to defend against the border country, Verdia. He said it was because Verdia is dangerous. It ignores treaties. But isn't it far more likely that this army was actually created to engage with Gabriel? With an actual military and what seems to be a new kind of weapon, at least judging from how the locals reacted, then that would explain their confidence. I think.
See, Winter, you are cut out for this.
Heh. Wait, don't reference things I mumbled to myself before we came here. Creep.
How's that make him a creep? How does that make him a creep? Whatever. But he did hear you. Maybe if you just didn't talk out loud. Then you understand the situation?
Yes, but I'm curious. Isn't this more like a level 5 war?
As Brighton and Gabriel are technically separate, I can't call what might happen a civil war.
Then it's a technicality? Just a technicality? I figured Brighton and Gabriel were still very close.
Well, look at you. You're all calm. I frown with indignation.
I am not at all calm if this is essentially a level 5 war.
Well, you look it.
I do not let up with my frown.
Well... Goodness, what's wrong with me? Okay. Well, that isn't all there is. How this might proceed largely has to do with what level I would give this potential war.
Cyrus stops and I stop in turn. We are now in front of a fountain. It took me the entire time till now to realize that the city streets are deserted. The doorways are even clear of those ragged children who would ask us for pennies. Could it be that everyone is listening to the address? Before I can drift off on this thought, Cyrus looks down at me. A nuclear weapon is one that can kill a lot of people and destroy a lot of things almost instantly. Excuse me?
Honestly, Winter, what did you think I meant earlier when I said a lot of dying could be expected? I won't go into the details, but it's not something you would have been taught about yet. I've dealt with it before, though. You're lucky.
I'm not lucky at all. Not even the littlest, slightest.
Not even the littlest, slightest.
What kind of thing is that? Is it magic?
This isn't a magical world, Winter. Thank the higher-ups you won't be going to those just yet. They're less fun than they sound.
I should not be going to worlds with wars, either.
Point. You can check your Codex for information about what we'll be dealing with if you like. I already did, see? I'm a good student. I read. I need to contact support and update them anyway, so at the least it will give you something to do while you wait.
What is it called exactly? Just nuclear weapon seems rather broad, like spear weapon or fruit drink.
I believe it's a fusion bomb. While Barnaby didn't specify, the rumor I heard supports it. Also, it makes sense considering they're reactors.
Reactors?
You forgot? We saw them when we first arrived. This country utilizes fusion reactors for power.
Ah, right. The looming and shadowy giants that stand in the distant steps. I remember not wanting to remember them. They were disconcerting. Like many other things here, they looked a mess, and unlike many other things here, they vibrated. I thought they were going to violently break apart.
Anyway, fusion bombs should be under weapons, obviously. It's technically not pure fusion, but most worlds can only do so much.
not pure? Well, it's a limited reaction jump-started by fission. True fusion bombs are rather like man-made stars. Stars are beautiful. Not the word I would use for those. Just keep the distinction in mind and read that fusion bomb entry. Right, understood. I mumble this as Cyrus turns from me and begins raising his wrist to his mouth. He suddenly pauses though and addresses me again. Oh, and Winter, while you're at it, check out the appropriate entries pertaining to this world. Always mind your Codex. It could save lives. Remember to keep tabs on it. Understood, sir. I look at my own wrist. Both of us are sporting bracelets, which look very similar and stylish in thin digital watches. We have to regularly hide them from view, as we are advised they are considered suspicious-looking things, usually. Hey, it's Cyrus. You guys probably noticed there's trouble in this world. Yes, more trouble. Cut the cutesy crap. This isn't the time. I'm actually... Oh, he's actually what exactly? I look at him. He notices that I am listening, shifts a little, and walks out of my range of hearing. That is worrisome. I look back at my wrist device, my ICD. Interplanar Communication Device, a name which does not actually cover all that it does. It also carries a database and tells time and probably thousands of other things, and it's fancy. Honestly, if there is anything magical I have encountered so far as a student mediator, excuse me. It is most definitely the ICD. Science magic or some such. It basically does everything. It is how we get to other worlds and teleport around them, and it can open up a tiny pocket dimension for holding things. An inventory, it's called. I think it's pretty cool. And it came from my own world. I would have never have imagined. Right now I need to access the Codex. I focus this thought, open the Codex, and the device recognizes the command. As it is linked with my mind, which is awesome, a tiny holographic screen emits from the device in a rather inconspicuous fashion, yet still in an acceptably readable size. I begin to navigate the database searching for, well, let's see, Sol, Brighton, Gabriel, and Ferdia too, I suppose. I think I'll leave Fusion Bomb for last. I've read these all, so we only have 2 things to read. Oh shit, oh okay. Are we gonna read this? Yes, we are. That's what we do. That's what we do here. We read stuff. Alrighty. So, Ferdia is a major society on Sol. It is one of the 3 most significant societies on said world, marked by its rich culture and extreme aggressiveness. It's responsible for many of Sol's major works of art, literature, and music, while at the same time its army and navy are unrivaled by any other. It is a direct democracy, emphasizing fairness with the power of the individual. Ferdia's wars have been numerous and frequent, but within the last 2 centuries, developments in aeronautics made by other major societies, those guys, as well as a fair number of truces, have largely put an end to this behavior. Unfortunately, they display an unusual degree of boldness. This has, in the past, caused them to ignore treaties and threats of technological superiority in order to get to war. Increasingly, despite their history of aggression, Ferdia has never tried to expand past its borders of its continent, nor has it created any colonies in foreign lands. Regardless of colonism, many of the mediations on Sol have concerned Ferdia's actions. So they're just really aggressive, but plan nothing for it. They don't care to expand or anything. Little odd, but okay, yeah. Ferdia has always been Why can't I read? Ferdia has always been extraordinarily territorial and protective of its people. This is due to the location on which they settled. on one of their few fertile lands of Sol. The land was and is quite desirable, naturally, see, I guess, Sol, and Ferdia was frequently accosted by other tribes and nations attempting to claim this territory. Necessity led them to be a very strong people, and the familiar helpfulness of its society bore a friendly, nationalistic culture. They grew a rich appreciation for their history, which led to some of their later aggressive mannerisms. Ferdians never forget the slights made against their people, and after violently expanding its borders to scare off enemies, it spent much of its time warring the nations that have assaulted them in the past. To date, Ferdia is believed to have initiated 251 wars and participated in 253. Hence, it has been stereotyped as a nation of violent roughhousing. While true to a point, they tend to be incredibly defensive and quick-tempered. Reports indicate that the Ferdians are generally quite jovial and creative. They are also the least discriminatory nation on Sol. An expression of theirs is that they hate everyone equally. I like this place, but the truth is that they are surprisingly open to immigration and cultural diversity. It seems that they only ever take issue with the countries themselves rather than countries as people. Mediators, be advised, as welcoming and charismatic as they are, do not fall prey to their influence. Remember that war is severely chaotic. Furthermore, while their military action has calmed down recently, tensions are always high when it comes to Verdian relations with other societies. Currently, Ferdia has been focusing on artistic endeavors and has adopted a somewhat isolationist doctrine. Its military is constantly honed, but has not deployed in approximately 50 Sol years. So it's been 50 years since their last war that they participated in. I kind of like that place. It sounds a lot like my personality. Okay, so note this entry concerns fusion weapons which are initiated by fission. For pure fusion weapons, see entry on true fusion. No, I don't have that. That's fine. Fusion bombs, also known as nukes, are highly destructive weapons fueled primarily by nuclear fusion. Their power ranges anywhere from obliterating cities to entire countries, all in a few moments. Due to this, their possession is quite often efficient and quickly silencing opposition. Stability is often reached, however, when opposing or multiple societies possess the weapons. Mutually assured destruction tends to prevent societies from risking angering one another. Fusion bombs are also notable for their fallout, which often takes several decades to dissipate. To expound, fallout is the result of a nuclear weapons detonation, fission or fusion, on an area. Since the resulting explosion is incredibly radioactive, its effects will linger long after the initial shock has passed, as the radiation will stick to the surrounding life and environment. Radiation sickness, symptoms, fevers, disorientation, fatigue, headaches, hair loss, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, internal bleeding. Did I just watch this move? Okay, set that there. Increased risk of cancer and mutations in survivors as children are all results of a nuclear weapons fallout. Although most systems refer to these weapons as products of fusion, it is not entirely true. While fusion is certainly a part of the process, the reaction must first be started using nuclear fission, an atomic nucleus, often that of uranium, splitting. The reason it is usually begun with fission is due to the incredible... My mouse is teleporting! Well, not my mouse, my cursor. Where was I? I'm getting distracted. Okay, splitting. The reason is usually is usually begun with fission is due to incredible energy and pressure required for nuclear fusion. Okay. For most societies, fission is the only method available for producing the required energies of proper level of energies. If a proper level of energy is reached, the nuclear fuel, often hydrogen, will begin to fuse with itself to produce a new element, often helium. This reaction is significantly more destructive than that of fission, to the point of that fission bombs are usually quickly declared obsolete once fusion is explored. The fission stage of these weapons is the primary contributor to the radioactive byproducts left by the detonation. Well, we just learned a lot more about nukes. Certainly this is amazing. I smile pleasantly in admiration of technology, and yet you're not horrified at all that you have read. That's makes sense for you, Winter. Most unfortunately, my smile is very, very temporary. As it turns out, the fusion bomb's incredibly horrible. There we go! There we go, that's the Winter we know. It is a weapon that will detonate and destroy everything in a very large radius with a disturbing rapidity. In its wake is a kind of miasma so powerful that it sticks to a place for several decades before dissipating. We just read all this! It causes sickness to those who did not die and it greatly increases the chance of cancer and mutations in the children of survivors. Once again, I am affronted by the sense of unreality that has persisted since my induction into this mediatorium. Mediatorium. I'm not sure what the dashes over the letters are. I'm not sure how to pronounce them. This is not even something you would read about in storybooks. This is not a thing one can imagine. Why would you kill somebody else? Why would you kill hundreds, thousands, millions? And what's more, with such effects, what does that accomplish? They said I would not understand it for a long time, that it would be covered later in my schooling, and that until then I would not be allowed to mediate wars. I need to understand this now, though. It may go down in a matter of hours. What will happen if I remain in this foolish ignorance of mine? My heart thumps and my stomach twists. I put my hand over my mouth and squeeze my eyes shut. I am not the type to freak out, but I am freaking out a lot today. I would have never guessed that you were not the type to freak out, honestly. I would not have guessed. Winter! Come on, calm down. We'll make it through this and you'll be better for it, okay? I close my Codex and look at Cyrus, who has placed his hands on my shoulders. The gesture does not help. For some reason, it makes me feel worse. My heart tightens and tears escape from my lids. I feel the same feeling that comes when I imagine how it would be if my dad were to die. Only the feeling is much more distorted and disgusting. I answer Cyrus with a warbling voice as my emotions are in tatters. I'm sorry, sir, but I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Winter, come on. Hey, you aren't stupid. You're a smart girl. I am. I'm incredibly stupid. You know it. You're a bit hard-headed. It's okay. You're young, Winter, and you're strong, too. You're strong, Winter. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I raise my head and look at his face. Through my tears, I can see that Cyrus's cheeks are more flushed than my own. He jumps a little, as if he were startled, and hugs my head to his chest. His heart is beating very fast, and I clutch the bottom of his shirt. When he speaks, his voice reverberates through his body in a powerful way, so powerful that I even feel a little more confident.
We will not fail. Or will we? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna actually start playing this game. I'm playing the game. I understand that I am. I just want to do something. Like, at least with, what was the other game I just played? Why am I drawing a blank right now? With the AI QA, that Korean game. With the Mangunghua ship. I am totally drawing a blank right now. I cannot remember what I just played. Anyways, I know that that story was like just all reading, but at least I got to click things and I got to like explore files and I got to interact with the terminal, which is super fun, even though I was a total idiot at it. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to doing something with this game very soon, hopefully. And on a side note, honestly, if Winter wasn't 14 and this Cyrus wasn't like, I get that she's exaggerating about his age. He's probably like 30 years old or something, middle-aged. I would totally ship them. I would ship them if it wasn't weird, you know? If it wasn't weird, if it was okay, I would put them together. And that's just my thing. I can't help but think of fanfiction writing when I do anything. Alrighty. Well, see you next time. Bye, friends!